just trying to be a little bit quiet.
We're just being quiet. We're in quiet corner. I was actually lying down on the floor being quiet, Judith, because I'm being quiet and sensible this morning.
Well, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing lying on the floor?
Well, I just thought we'd start the show in a quiet, contemplative mood.
Oh, posh word.
I know. I was lying on the floor thinking of that word. I couldn't remember it for a while. I thought, what the fuck's that word? What is it? I got it. Contemplative. Right, okay. Let's start with that. Good morning, good morning. We've had a brief chat before we started. I said hello and all that. Let's move on. Are you reaching out to me, Judith? Are you reaching out?
Well, you were in a terrible state last week. You were down in the dumps, weren't you? What? You were about a 2, I think. I was
a 2. I've dragged myself up to 6.9, possibly borderline 7. Yeah,
well, it's quite high for you. Quite high.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? It's not. Do you know what I think it was last week? It was I felt very hormonal, irrationally hormonal.
Right.
I felt. Do you know what I felt? I felt premenstrual, Judith. Do you remember that?
Well, don't be ridiculous.
Well, I know it's ridiculous.
Only just remember it. You felt a bit. No, come on. I mean,
that irrational kind of hormonal surge of temper, upset, a bit weepy, the whole thing. Yeah, and then I realised that I was just pissed off about something in my career. It's always usually my career, not much else that really gets me down. But I had this sudden wave of upset about not hearing about Draws Off. I had a wave, Judith.
You?
Yes, and it floored me for a couple of days.
Oh yeah, no, I totally get that. And for goodness sake, what is wrong with Channel 4 not recommissioning that straight away? It was wonderful.
Well, I know. Well,
it was great.
Well done, Judith. You've done your job.
No, I genuinely mean that. But broadcasters, they're perverse. They're
taking their time. Do you know what? I just like a decision, but it's this sort of limbo land, and as every day goes on, you just go, well, that's less and less likely.
What, are you starting to look for the emails? I know, and that's horrid.
Yeah. But anyway, it's over now, and I'm still not drinking during the week.
Good.
Very good.
Well
Very good.
Done.
Yes,
Lots of house points for that, madam.
I found very nice rhubarb cordial from Marks and Spencer's that I would highly recommend, mixed with a fizzy water and a couple of cubes of ice. Very refreshing, sharp, with a tang, just a little tang of sweet. Lovely. There we go.
You are starting to turn into somebody that I no longer recognise.
I know. It would be delicious with some gin in it, but I'm not doing that.
Wouldn't it just?
I bought some non-alcohol gin. It's awful.
Oh, that's is it called seedlip? Or
yes,
bird
I think
lip or something? Terribly expensive.
Birdseed, that's what it tastes like.
Birdseed. It's almost as expensive as sort of
the
proper
real
gin,
thing,
isn't it? I know what you mean. When I was in my non-drinking phase, I
you're
treated
a
myself. I know it's gone completely the other way. But yes, you sort of have to pretend to yourself. But now, you see, this is interesting.
Okay,
because it's expensive. You kind of do convince yourself that it's more than cordial. Yeah. And therein is a very, very clever trick, I think, on their part.
I totally agree, because it becomes ritualistic in the pouring and the nice glass and all that sort of thing.
Very nice design bottle, yes.
Yes, I think there's a range of them, and I don't think I've bought the best one. It's a sort of rather nothing taste. Anyway, there we go. So, fresh as a daisy this morning, slept like a log, Judith.
Oh, did you?
10:30 to 8:30, one wee in the middle.
Stop! Just stop right there.
Yeah. Had some extraordinary dreams last night. I'm not going to go into them because there's nothing duller.
I was just about to go.
I know. I preempted. I cut the snore law off at the pass. For those who haven't listened to the podcast before, I'm Jenny Eclair. Who are you?
I'm Judith Holder, as far as I know.
The last time you looked. Last time you checked in the mirror. There you are. And we are, of course, older and wider. You're most welcome to the podcast. Catch up. There's loads and loads of episodes. We're on episode 112. Where have you been?
112.
Anyway, what's your mood, Judith?
My mood is, well, I was right up there.
Oh,
I mean, you wasn't there last week. I think I described myself as dangerous. Mm. That's how high I was
over
in the
an
mood.
8.
I was, which is dangerous in the sense that you're going to
heading for a fall.
The fall came.
Okay, how badly did you crash?
Last week I sort of I told the gang about buying this flat in Cornwall. Very, very modest flat. Really quite a cheap flat, if I'm honest. Really, actually, which is why we could afford it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm beginning to realise why it was quite so cheap. You know what I mean? I can't. You know when you move into a place and like one or two things go wrong and you think, oh well, oh, okay. And then
Is it, so you've now got a snag list. Is it over 7 things, Judith?
It's easily over 7 things. But
Okay, because I know you'll have written these things down. Are you prepared to share what is on the snag list? Some of the things. I'm going to guess. 1. When you open the cutlery drawer, does it come off its runner? Because that is one of the things that makes me want to punch your kitchen to death.
Not quite, but it's quite close. It's a close one. So it's obviously been fitted a little bit too close to the drawer next to it.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? So when you pull the cutlery drawer out, God, you're intuitive. When you pull the drawer out, you've just got to slightly move it over to the right so it doesn't bump in.
And once you know that, it becomes sort of second hand, doesn't it? It's muscle memory, and you can deal with that. Strike that one off. You're not going to get your knickers in a twist over your cutlery drawer.
I've got plenty more.
Okay.
Do you want to have another guess, or should I carry? Or should I
would. One is going to be boiler related because there usually is something. Is it boiler related? Is there?
It is. It is. So
they're cunts. Boilers are cunts. It's as simple as that. Boilers and printers, cunts.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. It needs a pump fitting to it or something.
Boring. How boring of it.
So boring. The plumber came round yesterday. I met a whole range of kind of people,
You have them lined up. A queue outside the apartment.
I could fit you in at 10:30, 10:45, all that. Yeah. Plumber.
We were lucky to get one, Judith. Lucky to get one.
Yeah, I know, but I think I'm realising why. He likes to chat. They all like to chat.
Yeah.
He likes to chat and he likes to tell you about it all. So, you know what it's like. You kind of think, yeah, okay, I want to know what the problem is up to a point.
Yeah.
Only up to a point. And
well,
then
this
all I
is
want
when
to know...
you should employ Judith's snore law. I mean, we've got to get this law out to the community at large.
General community.
I think that now and again, when a workman comes and blah, 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 all this kind of thing, boring, like that, just demonstrate snore law.
Just fix it. Yeah.
He'll think you've probably got a sinus problem. At this point, you have to explain yourself. Say, I've just employed snore law. And what it is, it's a new law that's been passed in government. And when people get boring, they hear the sound of the snore law. They've got to shut up. It's as simple as that.
They've got to move on.
Yeah, there we go.
We wish. No, he said,
okay.
So
boiler needs a pump. Is this because your bath takes forever to fill, and by the time it's full, the water is cold?
It's not quite that bad, but it's a trickle in the kitchen, despite having had a new tap. So yes, we need that, and we need a pump on the boiler. Yeah. The shower, the shower worked for about 2 days, and
you expect me to come and stay in the shithole?
I know. I think you can change.
Okay, shower. There's a shower.
The shower. Okay. Yeah. Which apparently, now listen, I am going to tell you about this because I think it's of interest to the gang. Okay. The reason it stopped working is that when you're washing your hair and you pull it off the thing to get the nozzle closer to your hair, which I do regularly. Apparently, it sends the tube into. I'm already starting to explain it and think I'm so boring myself.
Yeah. You might fall asleep halfway through your own sentence, Judith. God, so you pull... You see, I don't understand why you've got a shower fitted that needs to come off the shower fitting. Why don't you just have a big fat shower head and then it does everything?
Oh, because it was probably cheap in the first place. No, it's got, they've got those things that you press the start button and they're electric. But so it's got a nozzle, it's got a little housing. And so often, if people take it out of the housing to wash their hair, apparently the tubes get in a twist and then they've got a safety valve, which stops the
It's so dull, isn't it? God in heaven. And in the meantime, you are naked in the shower thinking, where the fuck's my water? I've got shampoo on my head. I hate the shower. Why aren't you in the bath anyway?
I know about it all. And basically,
Is there a bath, Judith? Because there's
a bath.
Okay, that's okay. Because that is my deal breaker,
Yeah, of course it is. But I don't think you'll be able to have 3 baths a day.
No,
I'm going to tell you what the last...
I'll bring my own water. I'm going to bring my own hot water.
Yeah, I think you might have to. And, no, the last straw, I won't go into all of it. Suffice it to say, I've had an electrician, a carpenter, a painter and decorator, and a plumber so far. The last straw, Jenny,
this is brilliant. It's making me... Honestly, I've gone up to an 8. This has cheered me up so much. My mood has elevated. Does yours go down? We're like a seesaw. The lower you go, the higher I come. Brilliant. Go on.
I heard something being delivered through the door. And I lifted, you know the flap on the back of a front door where the post comes in? You know, that little metal flap. I lifted it up and it came off in my hand.
Oh, it's a metaphor. It's
Yeah,
kind of a
it
metaphor.
really
Yeah.
is. It was almost like the people we bought it
We're
had put
laughing.
it there, had
Yeah.
balanced it there. You know what I mean? And they got a little camera ready for me to say, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Okay, so
yes,
these are all little tiny things, Judith. I mean, nobody's taking the sea away from you. It's not as if you'd said to me, "Oh, actually, you know, we've got there, and they're building a great big car park in front of me." There's, you know, that would I would then say you have bought a complete dud, and this is a disaster. Yeah. So we have to cling to the positives. Of
course
we
we do.
all
Course
the
we do.
fucking time.
Of course we do.
Okay, so they're not building a supermarket or a car park or a massive seawall
Not that I
that blocks
know
you.
about yet.
Can you imagine a massive breeze block wall? Just
And it must happen to people, mustn't it? I mean,
it does
must
happen.
actually
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. Because that's what I think in planning, nobody is entitled to a view.
Oh, is that right?
I mean, you can
Is
check that
right?
out because, you know, I talk shit all the time. I mean, I genuinely, no facts are checked on this podcast. We've said that before. We are
Yes.
not reliable sources
Which
of
we'll come
information.
to when we talk about the Mitfords, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah,
'cause I
we
got the
really
wrong bloody
screwed up our
Mitford.
Mitford
I did.
information.
Oh, I've got a big apology
well,
to
I
make
did
later
notice.
on.
Yeah, but there we go. I should have fact
come
checked
on
your
to that.
culture corner
Yeah,
last week, but I
yes.
didn't. I let that one slip through the net. So you've plummeted down to you're about a 7, aren't you? Really?
Oh, I'm much less than that. Much less
really?
than that. Oh, yes. Yeah. But, I'm steadying off. It's levelling out.
Yeah,
It's
well,
levelling
you're
out.
back home now, and you've got,
things
you've got
work.
your
Everything
boiler
works.
works, and you cut. I bet you're there in your lovely kitchen, sliding your beautiful cutlery drawer in and out. Oh,
I love
sexy.
you. I love that. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there's nothing
Do you know what
like
I did?
a good functioning kitchen. Go
Do
on.
you know what I did the other day in our kitchen here? I can't believe I did this, but you know when you're cutting on a chopping, we've got a marble chopping board, weighs a bloody ton. We've had it for 30 years. It was a wedding present. It's the sort of thing that if you drop it on your toe, you break your foot. Anyway, really big thing. And I was trying to slice a celeriac, and I think I was really pissed off about something. And have you ever done this? Have you ever taken your biggest sharp kitchen knife and done a sort of karate? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I actually thought, right, I'll get a bit of impetus on this, like a log. like I was chopping a log.
Yeah. I know. Okay, so take a swing at it.
I took a swing at it and I thought, I'm going to enjoy this. It's going to make a great big thwack. Well, it didn't half. I've broken a marble chopping board. Get that?
Judith, it must have had a hairline crack in it. It must have had it's either had a hairline crack in it or else you were insanely bad-tempered.
I think I was.
You know what really
quite
makes me
dangerous.
laugh?
Well,
About that story? That you said you were chopping up a celeriac. And this is how suggestible you are. A couple of weeks ago, you were raving about celeriac soup.
oh, yes,
Were
I was.
you copying?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was. Of course I was.
Oh, my
Of course
God.
I was. Trying to recreate the roast celeriac and wild garlic soup.
Well, I know you said you hadn't stopped thinking about it, but to try and recreate it in your own kitchen, I want to know whether you put your own wild garlic in it. Did you
I
forage
did.
for wild
No, I
garlic?
gathered. I've been gathering wild. This is how seriously I take my soup making. I've been
you're
gathering
copying.
wild. Yes. Yes, that's all right. You're allowed to do that with food. It's not right though. I haven't got the consistency right. I think the thing with soup, it's either like baby food with me, or it's runny, as you know, and a bit lumpy. And no, I haven't quite got it right.
Well, it's like
But,
us, isn't it? A bit runny and lumpy. You know,
runny
what
and
can we
lumpy.
do? There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I made a terrible vegetarian meal for friends that in the end couldn't come for dinner because they'd had a family emergency. So, I think they said that. I mean, sometimes you think it's been a long time, hasn't it? People, they never really liked us. Anyway, they're pescatarians, so they do eat fish.
Oh, well, that's a bit more.
Well, yes, I know,
considerate of
but
them.
it makes it easier. But Jeff is funny about fish. He doesn't really like it unless it's cut in a shape. Covered in,
Like a fish finger.
Yeah, covered in breadcrumbs. So you can't tell it's fish. But I just thought, right, okay. And we plumped for a recipe from Jamie Oliver's 5 ingredients, because anything more than that, I get into a state over. And, but God, honestly, Judith, I should have phoned you.
Go on.
And I
what
don't
was
know
it?
why I did. It was a potato lasagna. I know it doesn't make sense.
Potato lasagna.
It was asparagus and potato lasagna. Listen, I didn't make this up.
dear.
Jamie Oliver, who is, has got a bit of a
Ridiculous
food
idea.
empire going, and sold a few books in his
but,
time.
you've
You've got to give him some credit. And I had to blend. It's a lot of asparagus chopping, and in the end, you had to blend asparagus and onion together to make a kind of soupy cream thing with some flour, and then layer it with potatoes like a layer. It was absolutely.
And then layer it in lasagna. I mean, that's
as a lasagna. Yes, asparagus and potato lasagna. The clues in the title. Don't try it.
Mess.
It was, Jeff and I ended up, we had to have some for our supper. And I bought some salmon fillets as well. I was going to have potato lasagna with a salmon fillet and then some green salad. But anyway, I made this vat of potato and asparagus. And the next day I had to force it down the sink. I had to put the incinerator on. The incinerator was kind of throwing it back up. No, it was throwing it back up. Even the incinerator didn't like it, So anyway,
I could have told you that was a non-starter. I could have told you.
I know.
There you go.
As I started making it, I thought, this, and it took an hour to prepare and then an hour to cook. I mean, it was such a waste of my time.
And then that's so infuriating.
So I've had friends over.
Oh, get you with you out of lockdown inside. You'll be
Well,
allowed
no,
inside.
I mean, sort of semi. No, we're not allowed till Monday. Don't try and dob me in it.
Okay.
What we did, we got the bifold doors. I think that's what they call them.
Oh, yes,
isn't
of course
it?
we have.
Everyone's got bifold doors. There's not a house in South London that's not got a bifold fucking door, I tell you, onto a bit of patio.
Patio? Decking?
No, ours isn't decking, though.
No, actually,
it's
decking's
not
gone
wood.
out of fashion, hasn't it?
Well,
Yes.
it rots. You've got to be careful with your decking. We've just got
you might have a
concrete.
fall anyway. Slip and have a fall. Your age.
If I have a fall on my decking, I'm dead because it's concrete slabs, but it's very stylish concrete slabs.
Of course it is.
So I had the door, all the doors open, and we had the table near, and we took the COVID tests, did the lateral flow COVID tests. I'm a dab hand now. I'm barely gagging.
Really?
Yeah.
Got that
Have you
down
done one
to a
yet?
fine art. No, I still haven't done one. No. I mean, to be honest, I
You
feel
haven't
like
seen anyone.
I haven't seen anybody. And also, I kind of think I've almost forgotten about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm in that phase now where I think, I've sort of emerged out of the COVID thing to such an extent. And I've been up and down the motorway, which has been really crap. It's sort of normality.
And you're double jabbed.
And I'm double jabbed, yes. But so no, I have to admit, I've got a bit blasé, which, therein
I think
lies
a
the
lot of
problem.
us have. I mean, I went into Marks and Spencer's
Shouldn't do.
yesterday, and half the staff had their masks under their noses and under their
Did
chins.
they?
Yes. I mean, I'm not naming
that's
names.
bad. That's
well,
bad.
isn't it? There is this general sort of feeling, though, isn't it? I mean, I agree with you. I think that there is such a big light at the end of the tunnel. But of course, we're recording this the day before it goes out. It's Thursday, and there's a big SAGE meeting today.
Oh,
did you hear about
Jenny?
that?
I
About
did,
the Indian
I
variant?
I know. And that really brought me up short because I think I am getting a bit cocky about it, like a lot of people. Just a little bit blasé. And I know, because apparently this one might be sort of immune to the vaccine and things. I mean,
if it is, we've really got
bloody
to sort of.
terrifying.
It is really frightening
Jenny.
because all that work and all the goodwill and
awful.
everybody. Yes. Anyway, we'll
Too
keep our
awful to-
fingers
oh,
crossed.
God, I hope not. I'm touching wood. I'm
Yeah,
touching wood.
Listen to me, touch wood. Can you hear that? Do you know that tapping noise there that I've just done there? You know, Jeff and I, you'll see this, anybody that's interested even in our Instagram account. I put a picture up this morning because we finished the Klimt jigsaw.
Oh, yes, I know. Very, very well done.
Yeah,
Very well
but you know that
done.
tapping noise that I did then,
yeah,
just
yeah,
to sort of say I was touching wood about the
Yeah.
Indian variant, right? Jeff and I took to, when we were doing the Klimt jigsaw, it was so difficult that when we put a piece in, if the other person wasn't concentrating, we tapped down on it. So the other person would look up and go, "Oh, well done, you got a piece in, very good." Yeah.
That's really sweet, actually.
It became this thing. And we finished it last night.
That's your little sex game, is it?
Yeah. Tapping, call it the tappings. And we were watching the news, and of course it gets too upsetting. So we turned the news off and went over to Jigsaw Table. But I had a serious word with Jeff about jigsaws last night.
Which
when we
was?
finished the clip, I said, "This has got to be the last one."
Did you?
Yes.
What, like lockdown is coming to the end, and we've got to emerge back to our previous life, normality.
Yes, I said I've got a young adult fiction book to finish. I've got a stage show to write. I've got a radio series to finish.
Oh God,
we
Jane,
can,
have you?
yeah. And Jeff, you have two big shows coming up. We cannot jigsaw for the time being.
Bossy,
we are going to have to
bossy.
wait until the winter, because I get a big break in the tour in December. And I said, I mean, I don't know whether we'll be able to honour this new resolution, Judith. Because
Of yours, this resolution of yours, which is subjecting
I think
Jeff
both
to.
of us are slightly addicted to the jigsaw.
Oh, I think it's as if you are, but the calming influence. I don't know whether you're right, because I think if it has a calming influence on you, I don't think you should push the baby out with the bathwater here. I think be cautious, because it sounds like a very positive thing, really.
Well, I agree with you also, because, the combination of giving up jigsaws and alcohol during the week might just make me crack.
I think it might.
I'm going to bear your wise words in mind. I will,
once.
Judith,
For
because
once.
I've got one in
Good.
reservation. Don't you worry. It's a bit like being a heroin addict as well.
I've
given up, but I've got a little stash. Okay. Now,
What else have you been up to?
I've been to a flea market.
A flea market?
Yeah. I bought a wicker stool for £20.
stool?
Yes, very 60s.
Oh.
And an industrial-looking chair. I say industrial-looking, but what I mean by that is, bigly manufactured. I don't mean the word bigly, but I can't think of the word I mean.
Do you mean like a desk chair or a soft chair?
No, it's a restaurant. Think French cafe, 1930s.
Well, what are you going to do with that?
It's at my dining room table, at my kitchen
You just
table.
have an
I've only got
odd
one
chair.
table.
You just have an
I've
odd
got all
chair.
odd chairs. I haven't got a matching chair around that table.
Oh,
I
don't
can't.
tell me matching chairs are naff. I bet you.
I wouldn't have. I would not have. Well, I wouldn't have. Well, unless I had something so fabulous, then it required to be matching. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have matching chairs. No, I wouldn't. I think that is. Yeah, I think it's a bit boring. Not naff. I think it's a bit dull when there's so many beautiful chairs.
I couldn't have non-matching ones. I'm sorry. I absolutely
Really?
couldn't. No. Oh no, I absolutely could not. No. Sometimes I.
Well, I don't know where you're going to sit when you come to my house. You're going to have to bring your own chair. You're going to have to bring two chairs so there's some matchings. No,
What are you going to do with a wicker stool as well?
Oh, it's just there. It's just there at the moment. I'll
like
send
it.
you a photo. Well,
I've got a feeling that you might have gone along to that with a kind of desire to come away with something. Do you know
very
what I
much
mean?
so. But
Yes.
these were actual bargains. Now I've looked the chair up in Jeff's book of 100 chairs. It's there. It's a classic chair.
Oh,
Yeah.
get
It's
you.
not just a chair. It's a chair. Let's get off chairs. Okay, so now Judith, last week you threw into the conversation that you were doing a masterclass of skies, painting the skies.
I did.
What was the result like? I
Jenny.
noticed you didn't put it up. You didn't put it up on the
I
notice
wish I
board.
hadn't done that, because actually, two problems really with the masterclass. First of all, I had my head too full of plumbers, boilers, and all that shit to really properly throw myself into it.
Okay, were you doing the masterclass in Cornwall?
No, I did it here. Then I tried to sort of do the second half in Cornwall, and I think the trouble is that those masterclasses, that they are brilliant, but you do need to devote some time to it. And you've got this 7-day window in which you can watch it, and actually it's up later on, and I bet you I don't get round to it. And I tried to do it, and I've done, because really, as I said last week, all my skies are tricky, aren't they? And my clouds were either potatoes or baguettes. Well, they've got it. Now I feel they've moved on to kind of swarms of bees. So I've done it.
Maybe the sky's got a swarm of bees in it. Well, that's a good sort
all
of
the way across.
Yeah. I like the idea of you doing a series of paintings called the Bee Swarms.
The bee swarms, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you done with it? Have you painted over it?
No, it's just I might just have to tear it up. I will have another go, but okay. I think the trouble is that when I put things on the notice board, the gang are so lovely, and I thought, well, if I put it up, I know some people will be honest and say that's bloody terrible, Judith. And some lovely people would say, oh, but I think it's very nice. It has quite an atmosphere. And I just thought, well, no, I can't put myself and the gang through it.
The thing is, you and I are sort of praise hungry. I mean, we're just not very good.
Aren't we?
I don't know whether you're better at handling criticism than I am. I'm very, very bad at handling criticism.
Well, of course you. Yeah. I know. I've seen. I've experienced.
How about you? But I think you're a bit better. I think
actually, I think I am a bit better. Yes, I am. But for some reason, the painting thing is. I'm quite sensitive.
Thin-skinned.
I am, and I quickly lose my confidence. I think I outwardly take criticism on the chin, and I'm kind of, I look as if I've got this quite strong sort of exterior, but actually, underneath, I can't do it.
Inside, well, the thing is, I think you get upset and you lose your confidence.
I do.
I lash out and get very angry.
Well, people haven't been criticising your art.
No, well, but nobody. I put up my Matisse-inspired fruit bowl.
Oh yeah, the one with the nice aubergines with the polish on them.
Yeah, well, you see, that aubergine wasn't quite right because it was in a different style. Matisse comes from the school of flat art, really. Anyway, it was I thought it was a rather jolly, bold painting. And it just didn't get as many likes as I wanted it to get on any of my social media platforms. I put it up on them all, Judith. I had 3 attempts because I've got the older and wider Instagram, my own Instagram, which nobody's interested in, and my Twitter. And I just thought, and then I said to Jeff, "Do you think it's really good?" "I think it's really good." And he went,
Oh, I know. Mike sometimes does that with my things. And I'd say, "Oh, do you want to see my latest painting?" And it was really, really keen. And then he said, "Yeah, is that finished?
Is that a swarm of bees? Is that a swarm of bees?
Is that supposed to be?" We are both very needy. I mean, it's why we do this, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's why we do whatever we do. It's why we need laughter, we need affirmation, we need praise.
More than anything else. More than anything else. So anyway, Judith, my mum's 92 this weekend.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, so
she
what's
thinks
she
she's
going to
93. She thinks she's 93.
Does she?
Yeah,
Does she?
yeah.
92.
The home that she's in, it's a lovely nursing home. And they do a newsletter every month. And they do birthdays. And obviously they'd asked June, how old she was going to be. And she lied. I mean, she's got dementia. She's no idea, really. But so in their birthday greetings for the newsletter, they've got happy birthday to June Hargreaves, who's 93 this month. I thought, she's not. She's 92.
Well,
but
when you
I
get
can't
to that
talk.
age, maybe,
maybe
you start to lose count a bit. But
do you know what I did yesterday? This is dreadful. Oh, God. I mean, I felt like phoning her up afterwards to apologise, but I think it would have confused her even more. So in the nursing home, on a Wednesday, they show a film in the afternoon. It's always a Wednesday afternoon, and yesterday it was Oklahoma. So I phoned my mum yesterday afternoon. I completely forgot about the film thing and everything. And she said, "Oh, I'm watching Oklahoma." And I thought, "No, you're not, love. No, not, because it's not. It's Tuesday. I completely got the day wrong." And I said,
you got bad-tempered with her? Did you get?
Well, no, I didn't get bad-tempered because I don't actually. I'm all right. I said,
Good.
I didn't think you watched. I thought you watched films on a Wednesday. And she went, "Yes, it must be Wednesday. We're watching Oklahoma." I said, "No, it's Tuesday.
And it was.
It's Tuesday."
It was Wednesday.
And I was going on.
Right.
I was going, "I think you'll find it's Tuesday." And she was going, "Well, I'm watching a film." "I know that's tomorrow. You'll be watching the film tomorrow." I said, "I think you'll enjoy Oklahoma tomorrow." And it went on. And at the end of it, I just thought, "Oh, fuck, who's the one with dementia?" "She's the one with dementia." And it's me. I couldn't get... Ever since that bank holiday Monday, I've not got myself straight, Judith.
You're quite right. It does put you out, doesn't it?
Anyway, who else has a birthday this week? Who shares a birthday week with my mum?
Well, Poppy is one this week. Oh, she is. Now, get this. Yeah, Poppy is one this week.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but actually, I have bought her a little present.
Of course you have.
I know, Sienna wants us to make a little kind of cake. It's terrible. What are we turning into, Jenny? And
What
you
sort
get
of cake?
this.
Do you mean a cake for the dog or a cake for you to celebrate the
a
fact
cake
you
for the
kept her
dog. I
safe?
think it might be like a steak and kidney pie or something like that. With a little. But get this, Pebbles had a birthday party. She had a actual. I know she did. I thought of you.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, in my defence, and theirs, Pebbles' mum and dad, as it were, have got a granddaughter. If you see what I mean.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And she wanted, so it was organised by her, and I threw myself into this, and actually I put a bow in Poppy's hair, and we took a wrapped present of a bow, and I did pass the parcel.
What did you put in it? Did you put a bone in the parcel?
I put a bone right in the middle, and then I put little sort of dog treats in all the layers. You see, because I'm such an enthusiastic guest. How about that?
That's not enthusiasm, Judith. That's obsessive and competitive. That's you going to a party and going, right, you lot. This is the way to do it. I'm really, okay. So did the dogs pass the parcel, or did the parents of the dogs pass the
parents, parcel? It was like one of those party games with tiny little toddlers, where actually it's the adults do it. It was
because
ridiculous.
Otherwise the dog left it to the dogs. The dogs would have just shredded the thing to bits, wouldn't they, and just got into the whole thing.
Yes.
I'd quite like to have seen that. I'd have just liked it to have been thrown in the middle of a ring of dogs.
And to see what happened. Yes, actually, that would have been good fun.
So who won did you make sure that Poppy got the bone?
Of course I didn't. I made sure that Pebbles got the bone.
Oh,
of course.
Right. Oh, I don't think the birthday girl. No, I don't think the birthday girl should win Pass the Parcel. Ever.
Oh, I'm afraid she did.
Oh, well, that's very generous of you, Judith. But my mum always made sure that I didn't win anything in Pass the Parcel. Oh, yeah,
actually, I think my mum always made sure that I won. But that's
really?
Yes, she did. And in fact, at the time, I remember being a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah, you've got all those presents. All your mates have pitched up, bought you a present. You can't win Pass the Parcel as well.
I always won the fancy dress. Oh, did you see that photo that I put of what Poppy had done in her bed?
I didn't know what it was at first. This is on the Instagram again, isn't it?
Yeah, on the notice board. I mean, Poppy hates the cat. It is mutual detestation now.
Yeah,
it is
loathing.
So bad. And so what the cat is part of her strategy at the moment is to sleep in the dog's bed. Okay, yeah. And then I noticed that Poppy had put her biggest bone in the bed, so that the cat, so it would be uncomfortable for the cat. And I just thought it reminded so much of a sort of a dog version of a kind of towel on a sun lounger, as if to say, I'm having that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really was.
And also, cats don't like meat, sort of bones, do they? Like that. It's not their thing, is it?
No, it's not their thing at all. But the cat, it's almost like sibling rivalry. It's like, sometimes Poppy sits on my lap. She comes up. And she puts her head on me as if to say, look, this is my mummy.
Here's my mummy. Here's my mummy.
She loves me. She's always stroking me. Look, she never strokes you, which is probably true.
Yeah.
And the cat, I mean, it is so much like the girls were when they were little. And then the cat will literally turn her back on us. It's like she'll sit there and turn her back on the room and us, as if to say, do I give a shit? No,
because cats don't. They really don't. I mean, that's the thing. It's very hard to upset a cat, I think. So do you know when you went away, did you take Poppy with you?
I took Poppy with me. And then there's this awful thing of when we come back, it's like, she gambols all over the place and the cat's all nice and
the cat's bonded with Mike and they've had a nice time together.
Yeah. And the cat, you can just see if the cat could kill the dog, she absolutely would.
We'll leave the dogs now. Culture Corner. Corner. Right, you have some explanations to make, Judith, about the pursuit of love.
A big apology, because I said it was based on Jessica Mitford's novel, Nancy Mitford's novel.
Yes.
How could I have got that wrong?
Well, there were a lot of them, and it's sort of they're easy to muddle up. I can't remember. Were there 6 of them?
Oh, but there were 6 of them. I mean, as a result of this ridiculous mistake of mine, I I started to sort of look into them to refresh my memory. They're bloody fascinating.
But they
6
were
daughters.
Yeah, but they were a bit sort of Nazi leaning, weren't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I do
no,
think
but
we
not all of them.
romanticised some of
Yeah,
them.
but not all of them. So
Yeah.
there was the eldest, Nancy, the novelist. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there was Diana and Unity, who were both fascists. One of them married Oswald Mosley,
yeah,
no less,
that's
and one of
very
them was
dodgy,
very,
isn't
very
it?
friendly with Hitler.
Yeah,
Okay. Then there was Deborah, who became a duchess. And then there was Jessica, who wrote Ons and Rebels, which I'm reading actually now as a result of looking at Pursuit of Love. And she was a communist, and she ran away, and so she was actually called a ballroom communist because she set up a communist party branch in the ballroom in the house. And, amazing things like... campaign for the Labour Party up north in mining villages, but sort of was secretly staying at Castle Howard. I mean, really interesting sort of loads of, contradictions. And then Pamela, who was the only one who sort of did something not very fascinating, who became a dairy farmer. But apparently in the house...
That's interesting, though. That's something, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose so. Yeah.
It tolls for thee and it tolls for me. And it reminds us that we've done... Oh, God, we've yatted on a bit, haven't we?
Yatted on.
So, okay, so that's all the Mitford girls. And so you're doing further reading, Judith.
I'm loving Jessica's
tone.
novel. Yeah.
Are you?
I really am. But this series, Pursuit of Love, how could you just not adore it, really? I mean, it is fabulous, isn't it? And
Have you gulped it all down, or are you doing it in dollops?
No, I'm doing it very, very sparingly. I've, it's a Sunday night treat.
Yeah,
Oh, yes. What about you?
Well, it's a double bill on a Sunday night, isn't it? I
do
mean,
you
it's
go for
just
the double?
No. What I mean by double bill.
Call the midwife.
From 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock. I mean, men, you can do what you like.
Oh, I know what you mean.
A lot of us, men and women, but there are some men who'll be thinking, Jesus God, what's happened to Sunday night on the telly? It used to be Top Gear. But we have Call the Midwife at 8 o'clock.
Yes,
followed by The Pursuit of Love. The next 3 weeks we have got quality Sunday night telly. Marvellous. It's only 3 episodes though, Judith, which I think is a shame. I was hoping for 6.
That is a shame. But I love the way that it has this sort of modern twist, and the soundtrack is fabulous.
I like that as well. I think we've chosen the music beautifully. Some people don't like it, but
I like it a lot, and I think that there's almost sort of Bridget Jones qualities to it, really, and the casting is fabulous. It's
I'm
great.
enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. We are both smitten with The Pursuit of Love. Let's just say that. And but other telly that we are watching, Judith.
I watched the Davina documentary about the menopause last night.
Did you?
I watched a bit of it, Jenny. Because I thought, because it got loads of press, didn't it? But
yeah,
I think
beautiful woman has the menopause.
A beautiful woman has that. Yeah, beautiful.
And he's being very truthful and honest about it.
Yes,
but we anyway, we've been there, done that, written books and done stage shows about it.
It does feel a bit like that, doesn't it? I mean, I think there's a sense in which, when you've had your babies, kind of other people's children bore you a bit, and
absolutely,
there's that element going on.
Yes,
but also, yes, I know what you mean.
The cult of motherhood, once you've gone through delivering your own children, is sort of, you just go, oh God, really? Do you think you're the first generation of women to have babies? It's been going on for quite a long time. When you're through the menopause, and other women are going into the menopause and just and refinding it, and sort of, and saying, oh, it's so taboo to talk about it. You think, oh, no, we've been talking about this subject for 15 years.
Exactly. And then nobody was listening because they thought, we don't give a shit. What do we care about that? And then suddenly it's happening to them. It's funny, isn't it? And that must be such a sort of cyclical thing. But so now, of course, what I would like is to see a documentary about sort of old age. Because, I mean, what the hell do you call that? There isn't a sort of post-menopausal kind of...
Well, I think we are referred to as postmenopausal. And the trouble with the phrase postmenopausal is it just seems a bit redundant, doesn't it? It just seems like, well, you've done everything now.
So it's a kind of nothingness. Yeah. And it's sort of till
Shut
the
up,
end,
sit
really.
back, and actually, if you could just drive somebody to the chiropractors, that would be really useful. It's basically, you are expected now to be a useful member of society because... you're not pretty, you're not exciting, you're not having
No.
hormonal meltdown. So now it's time for you to roll your sleeves up and be bloody useful.
Yeah, and if you're no longer useful, then just sit there and shut up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm afraid it does feel a bit like that, doesn't it? But there you
Yeah.
go. What else are you
The
watching?
Brits, I didn't watch, and I regret that in some respects because I think there were some moments, Judith, and I would recommend that everybody goes straight to YouTube and looks up the Elton John performance with Ollie Alexander.
Who's Ollie Alexander?
Right, well, I'll tell you, Judith. We loved watching It's a Sin on Channel 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the lead bloke, the one that it sort of all revolved around, I can't remember his name, the skinny one that sort of
I know,
denied
from the Isle of Wight.
From the
Isle
Isle of Wight, yes.
Oh,
That
yes.
was the one, yes.
Oh, the one
He's
that-
the lead
yeah.
singer in a band called The Years and Years.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he's a really shit-hot singer. And he and Elton John did this duo of the song It's a Sin by the Pet Shop Boys. And it was mind-blowing. It was one of those moments. It was pre-recorded because it was such a sort of spectacle.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, but if you've got a spare 3 minutes and you just want to be reminded of great showmanship, and Elton John ever since I've read his biography and Rocket Man, the film, it just, completely gone so high up in my estimation.
Me too.
And
very
it's
much
3
so.
minutes of your life on YouTube.
Oh,
and
okay,
it
I'll have a
is-
look at that.
Yeah, it's just, and it was gobsmacking to see how good Ollie Alexander is at the singing thing and the
clever
dancing.
bloke.
Yes. My favourite film this week was Donnie Brasco. Now, this stars... Oh, well, it stars Johnny Depp before he turned into a bit of a dubious character, because nobody likes Johnny Depp anymore.
No.
But this was before all that nonsense. He plays a cop turned undercover gangster with Al Pacino as his gangster mentor, and it is an excellent gangster movie. It is in my top 10 gangster movies. In fact, Judith, I'm so into gangster movies, I might start doing a podcast about gangster movies in which I constantly get Al Pacino, Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese a bit mixed up.
Quite a niche podcast.
A
then, I
really
would
niche
say.
podcast for
Yeah.
middle-aged women that are quite interested in podcasts about gangsters films but don't know anything about them, that kind of thing. I'm not going to do it really, but I just like the idea of pissing everyone off. Books now.
Books. Well, yeah, I mean, I finished the Cazalet Chronicles, the first volume.
Yes.
Which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to the next one, which is
Are you having
good.
a Jessica Mitford break
And
now?
I'm
You're
having a
doing the Ons
Jessica
and
Mitford
Rebels.
break, Ons and Rebels, which I also very much recommend. Book club, we're between books.
Okay,
Which-
okay.
Yes. What about you? You've probably rolled
Oh.
on to another one.
Yes, I finished Greenwich Park by Catherine Faulkner, which, despite some plot implausibility, is an addictive read with a satisfying final twist. Now, it's not a literary tome at Greenwich Park. If you want something quietly, beautifully written, I'm not saying Greenwich Park isn't beautifully written. It's very well written. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's a thumping good summer holiday read. But if you want something a bit quieter, and really, really, I thought beautifully written. It's Summer Water by Sarah Moss. And I listened to this on audio, performed by Morven Christie, who's a Scottish actress.
Yeah.
And it's a great choice for a book club. It's internal monologues of visitors to a remote loch-sized Scottish holiday camp. Not camping in tents, wooden chalets that have seen better days, I think sort of built in the 50s or 60s. And it's just in the driving rain. And it's a sort of breakdown of everybody's internal thoughts over a 24-hour period. But behind those thoughts, there is a story as brewing.
And a story that relates them to one another or not?
Well, they're all in the same place. So when the story comes together, they are all involved.
Oh gosh, internal
It's a
monologues.
very-
So it's
yeah.
kind of it's their thoughts.
It's ramblings in some respects. And you think, well,
ramblings.
that sounds a bit dull and like it could, but it's every word is perfectly chosen. I was really jealous reading it, listening to it.
Sounds good, Jenny.
It is a really, really good
That
book.
really does sound good.
Some people won't like it, but some people, it will go in their top 10 favourite books. It's that sort of book, I think. Anyway, there we go. That
good.
is our roundup. I'm just going to remind everybody, Judith, of our addresses.
You found it, haven't you, on your screen or where you hide it?
Daisy's she heard our plea. And she's texted them over. And the Instagram is Older and Wider Podcast, whereas the email address, and we're more than happy to get your emails on anything, and we are at olderwiderpod@gmail.com. What's caught your eye on the email front this
Oh, well,
week,
have you
Judith?
noticed that there's a coleslaw competition that's brewing?
Yeah.
Oh, this is hilarious. Somebody called Sandy Holland, 66 years and 360 days, is about, obviously, to have a birthday.
Yeah.
And she says, my birthday next Friday and we're having a family barbecue to celebrate. Now, get this. My contribution is going to be coleslaw in honour of your podcast.
Oh my God,
know.
we've made it.
Oh, we so have.
Some podcasts, they have sponsors, they have all sorts of things. They have people, subscribe to them and pay them. We have a coleslaw made in our honour. We win.
That?
Yeah.
So she says, my daughters and I are huge fans, blah, blah, blah. I want this to be a truly authentic Older and Wider coleslaw, so I was wondering if either of you, now wait for this, could give me your recipe, please. Photos to follow as a thank you. Yeah, we can't wait to see the photos. Now, what's happened here is that you gave her your coleslaw recipe and I separately gave her mine. And so then she said in a second email, she's going to make 2 bowls and do a blind tasting. Now, I'm a bit scared about this.
I'm a bit worried about this, to be quite honest, because I just gave her sort of some vague ingredients. I didn't sort of do quantities or anything. Well, because I couldn't remember, and I was well, you'll win. It doesn't matter.
I should be very upset if I don't.
Yeah, I know.
I think,
So even if you don't win, for God's sake, Sandra, make sure she does, because otherwise, oh God, there was so much internal conflict going on.
Yeah.
I was very cheered by the fact our mugs, because we do have merchandise at our Older and Wider shop. You can look it up on the
nicely
internet.
done, Jenny.
Oh,
Nicely
God, it was
done.
good, wasn't
Go
it?
on.
I'll tell you. Our mugs have been seen and used at a book club. We like that very much. At a literary meeting and filled with wine.
Excellent.
Brimming with wine.
Excellent.
Val Perigo, 54 3/4, and her nice friend Kirsty Nelson, 51 1/4. And I think the great thing about drinking wine out of mugs is by the third glass, you couldn't give a shit how thick the rim is.
You couldn't. Not even noticing. You'd forgotten.
notice.
Forgotten all about
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. That's the solution. If
Well,
you're
that's
worried about
nice.
your rim, put some wine in it. Okay. Anyway, there we go. I've had a lovely chat, Judith, with you today. We will see each other soon, I hope.
Oh,
don't
I
know
hope
when.
so. That would be very nice.
That would be
I don't know.
nice.
I suppose we're allowed to soon,
We're
aren't
allowed
we?
indoors.
Oh,
We won't know how
God.
to do it. I panicked a
No,
bit when I saw my
forgotten.
friends the other day. I mean, it was great after about 10 minutes. But the first 10 minutes, I thought, how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. They've come a long way, they've come a long way.
I know what
Anyway.
you mean. Lovely to talk to you. Yeah, look after yourselves, gang.
Yes,
Toodle
do
pip.
take care and lots
Yeah.
of love. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.